think it was sort of a secret of mine for my whole life that I wanted to make music, but I only really worked on it in private for most of my life. Kind of like secretly sought out ways to learn about it, and I'm not sure what led me to it except something deep inside me. Sierra and I, well, we met years ago in New Mexico, and then sort of reunited here in Brooklyn. And Sierra just came over one day to where I was staying and brought all these instruments, and we just literally just sat down on the floor and started playing. And suddenly we had this whole vision for a record. So it was, yeah, also sort of magic. We just kind of stumbled upon something I think that we both had been hearing inside of us, and each of us was sort of the key for the other person, and then it just kind of came together. I think we're both intrigued by similar things, although we came from really different musical backgrounds. Like her background being a trained opera singer, and mine being very like self-taught. But we're both sort of interested in classical melody and tying that into sort of a natural experience of like a naturally writing and kind of seeing what comes to you, but also having a structure. I think we loved like the classical thing, loved like the power and drama of like metal music and like medieval kind of ideas, but kind of applying it to a more quiet, almost just literally quieter kind of world, and seeing how that can move around, kind of more of a dream kind of state. You could enter into like this world of metal, but more in a dream kind of way. How we feel and how we felt in the desert, and how we thought about it being in the city so much, and kind of what it's began to symbolize for us as far as like musicians and humans and artists. Sort of became a mythical sort of landscape for us to go to in our work, the desert. So I think that's definitely the backdrop for the record. We both came with certain songs or certain parts of songs, and then just over time it took us a little while to flush them out and to kind of hear all the sounds that wanted to be in there. So I think like making music is really about listening, in the strangest way, listening almost to things that aren't even there yet, which sounds strange, but when you hear something, it's just kind of, you have to let it sit for a while, and then you start hearing other things that can be with it. So I think that's how we approached it, sort of having somewhat of a vision for a piece that kind of led us, and then letting things sort of come to us as we worked on it. We both really feel strongly about recording as like another art form in itself, just how you record, where you record, the materials you use for recording is sort of its own thing. So that was really fun. We both really get into that. I guess as far as like things in the world, I'm inspired by tons of things, you know, and tons of people that have lived and are living, and it comes in all sorts of forms. If I hear something or see something, and it triggers something in me, I just follow it. I'll write it down. I'll go research it. I'll put a picture of it up on the wall, and I'll just follow it to the end, sort of the idea, until I can kind of put that into work somehow. Voodoo Arrows came about like pretty much at the same time that we were. they had put out one record, but it was sort of really coming together when we were putting the Falcons record together. And so it felt like a real kind of family kind of effort to do the work, and then this was the other side of putting it out into the world. So that was pretty magical to see, like to see the business side in such like a personal way. I just finished a solo record, and I'm putting that out, or it's coming out in the beginning of May. So that's really where my energy is, in writing new songs. And I think Sierra is doing similar with Hook Rosie. The new record was for me just, it was like a passageway from the Falcons to this other voice that I found while working on the record. And it's still like about death and loss, but it's also about kind of moving to the next place with that sort of, and creatively as well. So I'm really excited just to keep going with it and to keep writing.